Welcome to Second Take, the show that focuses on the issues behind the news. Mining Weekly editor Martin Creamer joins me to unpack the latest developments at Exxaro and Pan African Resources. Welcome, Martin.
Hi, Sashni.
Now, Exxaro is planning to take full ownership of renewables company Cennergi.
Yeah, Exxaro is a black-controlled company, and it's one of the most far-seeing companies we've got in South Africa. You know, it has always realized that being in coal would have a peak at some stage. They realized there would be a time when they'd have to move into energy totally, not just coal. But they've got fantastic contracts, you know, locally, and they're starting to export a lot. So in coal, they're very, very strong. These are long-standing contracts locally with Eskom, and also important external contracts. But they know that it's time to start entrenching yourself within the renewable energy space. And you can see with this deal, they had 50% of Cennergi, and now they've got 100%, which indicates that they want to be in sun and wind energy to a greater extent. And I'm sure they'll go the full route with that, because we're now talking about producing hydrogen, which is now being seen as a universal energy carrier. I don't think it'll be long before you'll see a lot of different efforts and directions in the Exxaro company in the field of renewable energy.
And it seems like Pan African is also moving into that space with a new solar power project.
Yes, well, Pan African is a gold miner, but gold miners need electricity. And we know the situation with the state utility Eskom is very uncertain at the moment. The other big thing about Eskom is that the tariffs are very high. So normal people who need electricity now say there's a business case for us to produce our own electricity. At the moment, the regulations are such where you can't go beyond 10 megawatt. If you do, you get yourself involved in red tape, and I think that red tape should be removed by Eskom. But you can see that Pan African, you know, at Ulikulu in Mpumalanga, they believe it's tailor-made for you know, a 10 MVA type of solar power plant. So they at an advanced stage of a feasibility study to decide whether it's economic for them to put that up, and they'll be telling the market before the end of the year which direction they're going to go.
And tell us about the gold mining project that Pan African is taking on.
Yes, you know, Pan African has done very, very well in surface mining, and I'm talking about mining dumps. So you've got tailings dams sitting on surface there, and when you go and extract the gold and the silver and whatever else you've got to get out, it often gives you gold at a low cost, and we see there their cost is sort of mouth-watering at about you know, $600 per ounce, when our gold is now beyond the $1,500 an ounce. So this has been a major contributor to their turnaround, which you saw. They've also had to look very carefully at underground, because some of those underground projects were very difficult to turn to profitable account. So they've had to make sure they don't go headlong and curtail their underground, but they're not removing themselves from underground, and which is a very wise thing. And they see this Egoli project. You know, when this Evander was owned by Harmony Gold, the CEOs used to tell us about these various organic projects that could come about, and one of them was the Harmony 2010. They were hoping in 2010 to do what now is called Egoli. So they've changed the name to Egoli, but you can see that it's got exciting prospects, because if this sort of million-ounce resource was anywhere else in the world, I'm sure there could be a company that lists it individually, just that one mine, and it would probably, you know, do quite well. But you can see that they're going in there at much lower cost, $40 million they're talking about, to get a good return out of this Egoli. They don't want to talk too much about it at the moment. They want to really get all their facts and figures together, and then, you know, before the end of the year, they'll also be pronouncing on which direction they could take with the Egoli gold project in Mpumalanga. And it's great to hear about new gold projects, because we see that a lot of people are talking about gold being in a serious decline here and us not coming back. Well, there's indications like this where there is a possibility to come back, and not only with that company, but there are others that I'm hearing from, and they're not listed companies, but they're coming in with innovative ways of resurrecting mines that have either closed or are on the point of serious decline, and they've got a new way of doing things which could change the picture.
Thanks for speaking to us, Martin.
Great pleasure, Sashni.
That's it for today. Join us again next week for more news analysis on the local and global mining industries. And don't forget to listen to the audio version of our Mining Weekly daily email newsletter.